join me with a warm round of applause for Tien Tzuo, founder, CEO of Zuora. Thank
you. Welcome. Welcome today to our first annual Customer Day. We've got a lot of really exciting things to show you today. We've got a vision for the future that we want to unveil, a vision for the future of our industry. We have a lot of cool products we want to demonstrate. We've been hard at work building a product roadmap that will drive our vision, our development for the next 12 to 18 months, and we want you here today to be the first to actually see this product roadmap. And so we've got a lot we want to cover today, but first, I wanted to thank you. Today is really about you. The last 4 years, we've just experienced tremendous success, tremendous growth at Zuora, but our success, our growth has really been because of you. And so we wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank companies like CoreMetrics, companies like Box and InsideView and Marketo and Cloud9 and LiveOffice. You guys made up our first 12 customers or so, and they really have stuck through with us throughout the years. I wanted to invite today, and I saw Power Reviews in the audience. I saw Informatica. I saw Tata. I saw Ustream and GigaOm and Reed, and wanted to thank you for joining our family these last few years. And I wanted to invite some of our newest customers today, customers like Dell, customers like AAA, customers like Pervasive, Scientific America, AppStreams, DocuSign. So thank you all for really being here and making us who we are today. We made a prediction 4 years ago, and we called the subscription economy. We made a prediction that the world was moving towards this thing called the subscription economy, and that consumers and businesses alike one day will find themselves not needing to purchase anything, but simply subscribing to the services that they need. And here, this year, no other than Gartner, and when Gartner says something is true and they sign a 0.7% probability to it, you know it's already here, you know it's already happening. They're saying that pretty soon, 35% of the biggest companies in the world are going to be offering subscription economy revenue streams. And so you guys in the room really made this happen. You guys made this come true. The subscription economy is here today. But what exactly is it? What exactly is this thing we called the subscription economy? And I wanted to just sort of frame it a little bit and talk about what really we mean by when we say the subscription economy. Well, the first thing that we believe is that the subscription economy is the inevitable outcome of where technology is going today. And so 15, 16 years ago, when the introduction of the browser unleashed this thing called the internet into our lives, we've been on this progression. We've been on a progression where 16 years later, today, we've got some pretty amazing things going on out there. There are 750 million people on Facebook today. 750 million people on Facebook. In a few months, this number is going to be 1 billion. We have 90,000, close to 100,000 new servers that are starting up on Amazon in a virtualized environment every single day. That's every single day. And again, this number is growing by leaps and bounds every single day. And ever since the introduction of the first iPhone, Apple has actually shipped 222 million iOS devices. I mean, these are big numbers. There's only like 6 billion people in the world. And so we all know that this is where the world is going. The world is going towards this architecture. The world is going towards, whether you call it a post-PC era, you call it a cloud era, you call it a social networking area, this is where it's going. And if you're building innovations today, whether you're a startup, you're 2 people in your garage and you've got a great idea, or one of the biggest companies in the world launching a brand new product and really trying to change the industry, chances are you're releasing your innovation not as a product, but as a service in the cloud, accessible by mobile devices in a socially networked world. And so the subscription economy is really about this idea that technology is driving us towards this place where everything becomes a service. You don't have to look very far to see this happening. If you look at, I don't know if it's Gen Y or the millennials, but if you look at the current generation, there's actually a philosophy that they call the sharing economy. Sounds kind of familiar to us. But it's this idea that you don't really have to own anything. You don't really have to own a product. This generation knows that, look, in today's world, it makes no sense for us to have here in the US 1 car for every single person in the US, where these cars sit around idle 92% of the time. This is not the future. This cannot be the future. And they know it doesn't make any sense. And so they're choosing not to buy anything. They're choosing not to own anything. They'll go ahead and subscribe to a Zipcar to get to their transportation needs. They'll go ahead and book a vacation not through Marriott or through Starwood. They'll actually just find somebody else's couch, somebody else's spare room by going to Airbnb, one of the hottest products on in the marketplace today. They'll get their vegetables from Farm Fresh to You. And they're not going to buy DVDs, they're not going to buy CDs, they're simply going to plug in or fire up their subscription to Netflix or Pandora to get the entertainment they need. And it's not just to consumers. Clearly this has been happening in the businesses world as well. Businesses today are no longer willing to put up with upfront capital costs, right? We've trained them in a completely different way. It's called SaaS. And it's no wonder that the SaaS market is now a $40 billion industry, up from zero just 10 years ago. And so the subscription economy is this idea that technology is really driving us to a fundamentally different place where things become services. It's this idea that consumers and businesses are demanding services now, right, that are agile, that are mobile, that don't require a lot of upfront investments. But the subscription economy is not just good for the consumer, it's actually good for businesses. If you've been running one of these businesses, and I know a lot of people in the room have been doing so, it's a fantastic business. Well, why is it a fantastic business? It's because of this concept what we call compound recurring revenue, right? It's the same idea as compound interest rates and compound annual growth, but there's this idea that if you focus on customer loyalty, if you build a stable customer base, if the customer base is loyal, they keep with you, right? Then every year you don't have to chase the next dollar. Every quarter that you start with, every year that you start with, you've got your install base that delivers consistent, predictable revenue, and then you grow from it. And so over time, after 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, you realize that you're experiencing exponential growth because your customers are carrying you there, right? Just like if you pay 7% interest a year, next thing you know, right, you've paid millions of dollars of interest, but it's the same really idea, right? And that's why Wall Street actually says that for every dollar that a subscription economy makes, that's actually worth $6 as much as a company in the transactional model. And the smart money knows this. The smart money knows this, right? Wall Street, Sand Hill Road. Let's take Sand Hill Road first. They're really only investing in companies that have a subscription-based business model. They're not investing in transactional models or product models anymore. Wall Street, in the public markets, they assign a higher valuation to companies that have this recurring business model. It wasn't always like this, right? When Salesforce went IPO in 2004, we had a hard time convincing Wall Street to really understand our model, but Wall Street fully understands this now, and they actually assign a higher premium value to companies that have consistent revenue streams based on a subscription-based business model. And it's no wonder that 5 of the last 7, or the 5 of the biggest IPOs this year, are all subscription-based businesses, right? Zipcar, subscription-based business. Pandora, subscriptions. LinkedIn, subscriptions. HomeAway, subscriptions. And Carbonite, subscriptions. And so this clearly is where the world is going. And so the subscription economy is an idea that the technology industry is driving us towards. It's a demand from consumers and from businesses. It's a superior business model, and you know this especially once you start running it and you start building up a predictable recurring revenue base. But we actually think it's much, much greater than this. We actually think the subscription economy is a concept that fundamentally is transforming how we do business in our society really as a whole. And if you think about it, there was a time 150 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever it was, where you got everything you needed from your local neighborhood service people, right? There was the blacksmith, there was the baker, there was the carpenter, right? Whatever it happens to be. There was a local grocery, and you got everything you need. And then somewhere in the early 20th century, there was this thing called industrialization or mass production, where things just became completely different. Things became delivered on a mass scale. And at the core of it was this concept of building products, right? The name of the game became, how do I ship as many units of this product as I can? How do I ship as many units of cars? How do I ship as many Bic razors? How do I ship as many, CDs or servers or PCs? And that was the name of the game. And the name of the game was buying the biggest factory that you possibly could so you could spare the cost of that factory out as many units as you can, because the name of the game, the basis of competition was driving down cost. Right? How do I have the lowest cost to make this product? How do I have the lowest cost to store this product, to ship this product, and to sell this product? And how can I sell as many products as I can through the different channels that are available to me? And some point in the last 10 years, and a lot of you guys probably know this because you bet on a company like Salesforce.com, you've bet on CRM, that might be why you're here in San Francisco this week, but the name of the game changed. The name of the game changed away from focusing on product and instead to focus on customers. And so the company of the future doesn't count how many widgets they sell, they don't count how many widgets they ship, they count how many customers they have. Right? How many customers do I have? How many customers did I have at the start of the year? How many customers did I acquire so far this year? How many customers did I lose this year? How do I think about the customer? How do I build services for that customer? How do I promote customer loyalty and get the customer to engage and use my services as an ongoing basis? How do I build a relationship with these customers? And then what really is the right business model to monetize that customer relationship? Should I be using a freemium model? Should I be using a paid model? Should I be using a monthly model? Should I be using a prepaid model? Right? It's all about customer relationships, and it's all about monetizing customer relationships. And we think this is a fundamentally different approach to building businesses. And just to give you an example, we had a chance to meet one of the executives at EA recently, and what he told us was, EA, we're one of the most successful technology companies of the last 10, 20 years, but we still think of ourselves as a product company. Our product, fundamentally, what we do is we build game cartridges, right? We build exciting game cartridges, and we sell them into the retail channel. We put them into Toys R Us, right? We put them in the different channels, and we count how many units of the $60 game cartridge that we sell. Right? And once we sell it, we're off and we've got to sell the next one. And we don't really own the customer relationship. Often we don't even know who our customers are. They buy the game cartridge unless they send in the registration card. We don't know who they are. Their relationship is not with us. Their relationship is with Sony. Their relationship is with Nintendo. Their relationship is with the Xbox. Their relationship is with the console. We're just a game cartridge on top of that console. Now you contrast that with another up-and-coming company, Zynga, right, who just filed their S1, and by all counts, they have a third of the revenues of EA, but they're worth 3 times as much at least. And Zynga says, no, we own our customers. We know who our customers are. We've got these massive databases, and we track everything they do. We have an intimate understanding of our customers that actually is our competitive advantage. We know when our customers come online. We know how often they use our product. We know how many customers are free. We know how to get them to buy that tractor or throw that zombie, or you could tell I'm not a Zynga game player, but it's a completely different approach. And they built this wall, this competitive advantage, this lead of understanding who their customers are, understanding how customers play games and engage with games and network with each other over these games that can't not be matched. And that's why they've got a dominant position now in their industry as opposed to a company like EA. Now, this isn't just happening in the gaming industry. In industry after industry, successful companies are using subscription economy strategies to fundamentally disrupt multi-billion-dollar industries and vault themselves into a leadership position. Right? You're seeing this with Zipcar. They're vaulting themselves into a completely different position with their hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Home away against Marriott, or home away against Starwood, or even Netflix against Blockbusters. And so we think the subscription economy is a fundamentally different approach to business. And it's as big as an approach that we've seen in the last 100 years across our environment. But here's the problem. A lot of you people in the room today, this is resonating because you are using these strategies to disrupt your industries. You're using these strategies to become the leaders within your industries. But you know that there's a problem. There's a problem. And the problem is that the systems today don't really think like this. This is a brand new concept. But the systems that we all use today are based on 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old concepts, right? They're built on 40-year-old premises. They're based on this old world of products, this widget-based economy where they help you track units. And they don't really help you drive the strategies that you need to be successful in this new world, in this new subscription economy world. And so maybe it's just simple things. Maybe you want to know, how many active customers do I have right now? You're Zynga. How many active customers do I have right now? So you go to Oracle, and you say, oh, Oracle, right, the seer of the future, right? And how many customers do I have, oh, Oracle? And Oracle says, and we love that mouth symbol, the words lipstick and pig kind of come to mind, but this on top of the Oracle Exadata, But Oracle says, I don't really know. I don't know how many customers you have right now. I don't really understand what an active customer is. It doesn't mean anything to me. Why don't I tell you how many products you shipped last month? Why don't I tell you how many orders you placed, how many orders you fulfilled, how many orders you booked? I can't tell you how many customers you have. That doesn't really make sense to me. I can't tell you what your churn rate is. I can't tell you what your retention rate is. I can't tell you how many customers you acquired this year and how many customers you lost this year and how much revenue that you're making on a per customer basis. Or you say, I've got this service out there. It's out there in the cloud. It's accessible on the iPad. It's accessible on the iPhone, on the Android, on the web browser. This is fantastic. My customers want to get a monthly bill. And so you go to SAP, and SAP says, I don't know how to help you with that. I really don't know how to help you with that. And so we hear these crazy stories. We hear a story, and I don't remember if it's Intuit or Adobe, but it's some company like that where it says, what we do in our SAP is we put January as a SKU. Well, last time I checked, January's not a SKU. Last time I checked, January's a month. It's not a product, it's a month. So why are you putting January as a SKU in your product catalog, in your SAP? Well, we don't really have a choice. We can't put a line item on an invoice that says, here's $29 for your January product, right? Unless it's a SKU. And so you hear companies doing crazy things with their SAPs and their Oracles in order to get their subscription businesses to work. Or you say, I've got a new product, and I've got all these customers, and I want to upsell my customers. I want to renew my customers. I want to renew them on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, or I want to upgrade them. I want to drive an upsell campaign. I want to give them an upgrade button on an email or a browser. And you go to Oracle, and Oracle says, I don't really know how to do that. I don't really know. I can give you a buy button. I know how to process an order for 5,000 widgets. Well, I don't know how to process an order for 5 additional seats against a 50-user contract 4.5 months into it. I don't really know how to do renewals. And so you hear companies spending millions of dollars wrapping all this code around Oracle, wrapping all this code around SAP in order to automate some kind of renewal process. And God forbid they've done that. And when they're faced with an upgrade cycle for Oracle, an upgrade cycle for SAP, we talked to a lot of CIOs that are saying, save me from the upgrade cycle. Well, you just increased the upgrade cycle by another $1 million because of all this custom code that you wrapped Oracle with or you wrapped SAP with. Or we hear a lot of companies, and Salesforce is one of them, that have said, in the old world, you either sell to small businesses, you sell to consumers, or you sell to large companies. And some of you might have heard Salesforce talk about the democratization of enterprise software. It's not just Oracle. Box is one of our customers that have done the same thing. Don't quote me on their numbers, but it feels to me like they've got something like 10 million free customers, I don't know, a few 100,000 paid single-user customers paying $9.99 a month. But then they're selling to businesses. And just a few months ago, they announced, congratulations, Box, that Procter & Gamble has signed up for something like 40,000 seats of Box.net. And so today, when the technology is just in the cloud and it's accessible by any device, you've heard of the consumerization of enterprise software. What does that really mean? Well, that just means that we're all people. We're all people in our own lives. We're all people in our family. We're all people working for companies. And it doesn't make any sense to think of yourselves as selling just to this company or just to this segment or just to businesses or just to consumers. So the successful subscription economies of the future are realizing this, and they want to support B2C environments and B2B environments. They want to support both. Well, try going to SAP and saying, I've got a great product. I want to sell it next month. I want to put it on the web. Hopefully 1 million people will sign up for this thing, and I'm going to charge $9.99, and can you take care of that for me? And SAP says, wait a second. I don't know how to do that. You can't jam 1 million customers into this. You know as well as I do that it costs $250 for you to process an order, and it costs $50 just to send out an invoice if you use me. You can't be sending out $50, $10 invoices when it costs $50 to generate an invoice, and I really don't know how to track 1 million customers, and I really wasn't built for that environment. And so these businesses are saying, I got my B2B business and I'm going to track here, my B2C business and I'm going to track there, and it just doesn't make any sense. It really just doesn't make any sense. Or you say, it's the end of the month. I've closed my books. It took a little longer than I thought, right? It took 2 weeks for whatever reason, but my books are closed now. Now can you give me the numbers that I need to run my business? Can you give me a single view of bookings, revenue, cash, billings? Because in the subscription economy, these are all related, right? You book a deal, you recognize it over time. You book a contract, you bill for it over time. These things are all related. Can you give me a single view of my business? And SAP or Oracle says, wait a second, I don't know how to do that, right? I don't track your bookings numbers. You track that in this thing called Salesforce.com over there, right? That's where you book your orders and you book your quotes and you pay your commissions. I'm tracking invoices. You're using me for collections. But honestly, you don't even use me for revenue recognition, right? A lot of you guys are telling us that revenue recognition is tracked in spreadsheets. So you have this crazy world where bookings numbers are coming out of Salesforce, billing and cash numbers are coming out of your ERP systems, and revenue recognition is coming out of your spreadsheets. They don't add up. They don't make any sense. You add it all together, all the data contradicts each other, and you don't have really the data that you need to run your business. This is the world that we all live in. And why is that? Because these systems weren't built for the subscription economy. If we believe, and we certainly do, that the world is moving, that technology is moving us, that consumer demand is moving us, that Wall Street is moving us to a different world, which is a subscription-based business, all your systems today are irrelevant. And so, we predict today, and you guys are the first to hear this, today on August 29th of 2011, we are making a prediction. We are putting ourselves out there, and we are making a prediction that in 5 to 10 years, nobody will be using SAP and nobody will be using Oracle. And you're saying, well, that's crazy. That's just crazy. I mean, these are massive companies. Last time I checked, Oracle has 105,000 people. But why would you use Oracle? Why would you use SAP if you have a subscription economy business? I'm sure there will be manufacturing companies out there. They can go ahead and stick with Oracle. They could stick with SAP. But why would you use these products? Why would you spend millions of dollars a year, especially if you're faced with another upgrade cycle, which a lot of these companies are faced with in the next few years? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just downgrade to a commodity GL that gets you your financial statements from a NetSuite, from an Intact, from Great Plains, maybe stay on QuickBooks? I mean, who really cares? It doesn't make any sense to use these businesses if you don't deliver any value. So we believe, we really do believe this, that the world is going to migrate away from SAP. They're going to migrate away from Oracle. The subscription economy is going to drive them to do this into a brand new system. And this system has to put the customer at its middle. Right? All the metrics have to be based on customers. What is my recognized revenue customer? What is my backlog by customer? What is my forecasted cash collections for my customer? Everything has to have the customer at its center. This new system has to have a plan-based product pricing catalog, right? It can't be just assigning a price to a SKU, so the SKU is $49.99 and per unit. It's got to have this concept of plans, and so you can subscribe to a service, you can sign up for the monthly plan, the quarterly plan. Each of these plans can have any number of fees. It can have one-time fees, it can have monthly fees, it can have quarterly fees, it can have metered fees, it can have unmetered fees, it can have prepaid fees, it can have postpaid fees, whatever happens to make sense, right? That's what the new system needs. This new system needs to understand that your customer relationship is a life cycle, and you need to engage with your customers and transact with your customers on any step of the life cycle, right? That it's not just about buying 5,000 units of a widget, sell it, ship it, and bill for it and you're done. But it needs to support not a buy button, but this concept of a subscribe button, this concept of an upgrade button, this concept of a renewal button. We call this lifecycle order management. And this new system has to have an order management system that's based on customer life cycles and have lifecycle order management. This new system can't force you to be a B2C company or a B2B company, right? This new system has to allow you to do anything you want. People are people, sell to people. Sell to lots of people in big companies at once, or sell to people as individuals, whatever happens to make sense. So it can't be B2C, it can't be B2B, but it's got to be B to any, right? Including models like B2B2C, if you're selling to resellers that ultimately sell to the consumers. And so it has to support these high volume B2C environments and these high complexity B2B environments in the same system. Why does it have to be the same system? So you can get a single view of your business. And so the new system has to unify the worlds of commerce, billing, and finance. It needs to give you a unified financials for your business, right? A unified subscription financials for your business, because commerce is where your bookings numbers are, right? Billings and collections are what you use to drive your cash, but recognized revenue is really, really important. And it's got to bring these worlds together so you can have a single view of your business. So, a lot of people think that we are building a billing company. A lot of people think that we're building a subscription billing company, and certainly we are. 4 years ago, there was no concept called subscription billing. It wasn't a category. Nobody even realized that the billing systems were needed. Fast forward 4 years today, and certainly we're the leaders in this space, but this is a whole category upon itself now. There's companies out there calling themselves subscription billing companies, and more power to them, right? But that really wasn't the point. Our vision was not just to build a subscription billing company. And over the last 4 years, we've been building the foundation, piece by piece, of a brand new system. We put in this product catalog, and many of you guys use it today. And so it's completely different than the product catalog that you see in a QuickBooks, and an SAP, and an Oracle. We've been building this brand new customer master that's anchored on the concept of a subscription. So you can know any given time, how many customers do I have, right? And how many customers did I have 6 months ago? And what's my customer retention rate? We've been putting in a model that supports high-volume B2C environments. So if you want to send out 1 million invoices and charge 1 million credit cards, right? You just set up a bill run to do that. But if you've got this high complexity environment where GE comes knocking and says, I want to be a customer, but I'm special and I want these special terms and I want to sign a 4-year contract and I want 3 months free and I want a ramp deal depending on how many users I have, right? Well, we can support that as well, right? And we've been putting in this new concept of an order management system with this anchored by a concept of amendments, cancellations, renewals, things that are really, really important in the subscription economy. And so this is really what we've been building. And on top of this, certainly we built the world's leading billing and payments company, subscription billing and payments company, but we've been really focused on building the financials. Because our vision has not just been to stop at subscription billing. That's not really what we're up to. Our vision really is that if the world is moving towards a subscription economy, a new system needs to be built. And we've been focused on understanding the requirements, talking to you, working with you to understand what exactly is this new system. Our vision is to build the world's first platform that's built for the subscription economy. Our vision is to build the world's first platform that you can build your business on, that you can build, manage, and grow subscription businesses on top of this platform, that it gives you everything you need and the tools to run your business. Just like ERP companies help manufacturing companies and companies with big factories in the Midwest somewhere, right? ERP is great for that, but in the subscription economy, we need a different system. And our goal really is to build that system. And our vision is that as the world moves towards a subscription economy, we want to build a system that foretells the death of ERP systems. We think its time has come.